EA Sports.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
FIFA, simply put, is a game about the biggest sport in the world. That being, of course, football. No, the other kind. FIFA as a game is at a very interesting point in its creation. As a game that releases every single year, with simply a different number at the end of it, FIFA is now at a point where the players hate to love it, and of course love to hate it.
Man, I'm gonna break my monitor.
I swear.
There are many reasons why that is, some of which will be mentioned later on in the video, but the question I'm very much interested in is why people keep buying it, regardless of it being, well, simply just a bad game at best, most of the time.
Blimey!
If you've ever played FIFA, you definitely have your own reasons for why you dislike the game. I sure do. It was my first game on the Xbox 360 in fact, which by definition, it kinda meant that I was inherently bad at it. And while like a decade down the line, literally nothing has changed. Yeah, I'm sure not everyone is as bad as me, but I feel like the FIFA community share a very strong passion in highlighting exactly what is wrong with the game, and that being completely disregarded by the people making it. Now, that is one massive theme that has run its course over the years in this game and is a massive contributor to why the game sucks. Not listening to criticisms from the fans is like EA's equivalent of giving a big juicy middle finger to anyone who actually wants the game to improve. Year after year, fans across the world watch the new reveal trailer and despair as they know exactly what they're about to get. A recycled piece of shit that costs way too much money. But if you know EA, then you know they love their money and they will do pretty much anything to get their hands on more. Not only do they charge an absolute extortionate amount of money to even buy the game in the first place, they also provide the players some nice pay to win content. How nice of them. A lot of the players who play FIFA play it for Ultimate Team. Ultimate Team is actually a very cool idea, and for me it was like making an actual game out of match attacks. But instead, EA saw this as a perfect opportunity to get more money out of people.
Cheese.
As you can't directly buy individual players, you have to spend vast amounts of money opening packs that could potentially contain those players.
This guy's not going to be a very good football player.
He's immobile.
Of course, you don't have to spend extra money on the game if you don't want to, but you would definitely be setting yourself up for a very long journey of painful losses. Trust me, I know. Now, my final point is simple. It just basically lacks variability. I mean, it's a game about football, and after a while, when you've seen one thing, you've kind of seen it all. However, content creators like Danny Aarons have seemed to give this game new life.
To be honest, I really liked Sigurdsson growing up. Chances are he probably liked me as well.
But I could probably put my money on that it's actually more to do with their personalities and editing styles than actually FIFA being an interesting game. So, with all these heavy arguments for why it actually sucks, why do people still buy it? Lack of contenders is one thing. I mean, FIFA basically has a monopoly over the football gaming industry, as PES, its closest competitor, well, PES is an interesting one.
Help me.
But still, the majority of people who want to play a game dedicated to the sport of football are left with very little choice, so FIFA is more or less their only option.
Oh, I've been fallen!
If everyone's in that position, as most consumers are not simply going to make their own supply of a football game, well then everyone's in the same boat when it comes to consuming what the market is providing. That means your friends, or the lack of them, sorry that was a bit mean, are also in the same boat. So this creates a perfect scenario where crowd behaviour swings the decisions of others in order to continue buying the game. But I mean, in retrospect, I was rather harsh with FIFA. FIFA is also a game that, when played at a chill level, is actually very enjoyable.
We're losing 6-1! What are you doing?
It is perhaps one of the best games to play with others in the same room as you, because you don't get that annoying split screen action, and sometimes even creates environments of healthy rivalry. The reality is that FIFA is not a blockbuster game with an amazing storyline, great acting and soundtrack. Instead, FIFA is a game that some people just buy in order to chill after a day at work, and you don't always need a quality game to do that. I mean, to give it to EA, they made a game that pioneered a lot of things and created many funny memories for us to enjoy, whether they were amongst our friends or online for everyone to enjoy. Still though, it doesn't take away from the fact that FIFA still sucks.